Hey everybody, and welcome back to Ready Steady Play.
What are we playing today, Mike?
We're playing this war of mine, Ben.
Sweet.
The board game, not the Vidjuma game.
No.
But I understand it's based on that. You can play the video game.
Yes, the video game's a thing. Mike, you haven't played the video game.
I can't play it because I only know cardboard.
Fair. I've played the video game. It's pretty depressing, but it's okay. It's fun. It's a challenge. And
My friend Matthew, who comes on the channel from time to time, Light of Hand, played it on his channel, I think.
Really?
Yeah, so if you want to check that out, you can go watch Matthew play this War of Mine, the video game,
Check it out.
on Light of Hand.
Yeah.
But we've got this. This is by Awaken Realms, designed by Michael Orax. Sorry, Michael, if I've ruined that. And Jakob Wisniewski,
Who's new?
who's new. But Michael, you might recognize his name from big games like Cry Havoc.
The Edge Dawnfall, which isn't out yet, but I backed it. so
So
you might see it later.
that might be coming. There was another big one he did.
Yes. I forgot. It was the first one you said when we were doing our research before this.
We're super pros. But you can find out more about him on BGG. And this is War of Mine. When did this come out, Ben?
I don't know.
But you've got it.
Yeah,
When did you acquire it?
came from Kickstarter. Went to retail recently. I don't really remember the exact details.
So it's out now. People can buy it.
Yeah, you can buy this game. I did get the Kickstarter. We're not playing with any of the Kickstarter bits. This is the retail set. So everything you see here is what you get if you were to buy the game today.
And this is a game that's been quite polarizing in the community. I think No Pun Included did quite a good review of it, and I've been sort of a bit unsure about how I felt about the game or the concept of playing the game. But we're here tonight to have a look and see how we feel about it.
Yeah. Get ready for a tearjerker.
It's been a while since we've done a tragedy on our channel. Some people might argue that Gaia Project was a tragedy, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Not today. We're going to instead. So this is based on the Siege of Sarajevo, but it's set in a sort of a fictitious parallel universe.
Yeah, in a city. I don't remember the name. Doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. The point is that it's inspired by that, but not necessarily that.
And for those of you who don't know, the Siege of Sarajevo was a siege from 1992 to 1995 during the Bosnian Wars in Yugoslav, I think. And that was a really depressing and messed up time. And someone made a video game to sort of share his experiences with the world. That's where the video game came from. And now Awakened Realms were like, hey, let's make a board game out of this. And this is what we're doing today. And it does capture the video game quite a lot. So if you've played the video game and not played the board game, you're going to recognize like loads of little things that have carried over into the cardboard version.
Absolutely. And what we've got is a situation where we're sort of living in this house and we're building up different areas of the house to sort of try and survive, different mechanisms for surviving. We'll go out at night and scavenge goods from different locations on the board. We've started with a small apartment building, the central square of the town, and Sniper Junction, which sounds horrifying.
Yeah, we probably don't want to go there.
Probably don't want to go there.
Yeah. But we'll explain that bit when we get to that bit.
Sure thing. I just wanted to say there's also a book of scripts, which has a bunch of stories in it, and we'll be reading from this as stuff happens as well.
So if you've played things like Tales of Arabian Nights or Above and Below, that's the same kind of book.
Or Near and Far. We've played Near and Far and Tales on the channel.
Oops, haven't played Near and Far.
Quick plug.
And this is the rule book, which is also the journal, which is essentially a first player token and a tutorial. So I think rather than do a setup and rules, we're just going to go straight into it.
Yeah, so we're going to be playing this. This comes with we're going to go straight into playing it rather than doing the usual setup and rules video. This comes with a very quick and easy sort of learning guide. The game itself is not actually that complex, I don't think, or difficult to set up. So you can use the journal to get stuck into it very quickly by actually starting to play the game. So we're just going to sort of get straight into it and just start start playing the game. It is a long game, but it does come with a saving mechanism. So that you can sort of leave it and come back to it. I think that might also, part of the motivation for that might be because it's supposedly, and we're about to find out, very depressing.
I don't know if that's why, but okay.
Depends how much emotional trauma you can take in one sitting.
Yeah.
So, but we'll be the judge of that, because I've not really played the full game before, and Ben's only played one time, and so you never know. Maybe it's not as bad as everyone says.
Well, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
So we've done all of setup. We've got our starting resources here. We've got some food, some water, some wood, some components, a shovel, and a lockpick. We've got our locations, like Mike said. What we don't have is our characters to begin with. So,
right.
So what we do for our characters is we draw from the character deck, which I'm going to do right now. Is that cool?
That's cool.
Okay, I'm going to bring it over here so we can see what we're doing. And there's two kinds of characters. There's red characters and red bordered characters and black bordered characters. And for setup, we're going to have one red and two black bordered characters. So first we have Marco. Yay! We like Marco.
Firefighter.
So we're going to look for the Marco miniature. Is that him?
And he can have any colored base.
Yeah,
right?
we can choose his colored base.
So he's Marco
Yay.
with the blue base.
Which means we put the blue thing on the card. Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's Marco.
There we
Sweet.
go.
And then our next character is Bruno. Oh, I like Bruno. He's from
TV host and chef.
Yeah, I think he's one of the starting video game characters. I can't remember. But yeah, he's cool. So let's get Bruno out. He's the one with a sling around his neck. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we can't take Powell. We have to take Marin. Oh no, he's the starting character from the
Wait a minute, it's
video game.
all boys.
Yeah, last time we played we had Marco and two girls, but now we've got two boys. So we can get more characters as the game progresses. Usually they'll come in. You can have a maximum of 4 characters, I think, at any one time. Mainly because there's only 4 colors. Makes sense. So we'll just pop these guys straight into the house. I mean, boop. Here they are, just chilling in our house. Boop. So, you hungry?
Like it might be. Much like the characters in this game.
Oh yes, so they're all starting with hunger. Good save. So everyone starts with hunger level 2. And so should we just move them over? So
here we go. This is our team of survivors.
Yay. So let's do this.
Here we go.
So as they start with hunger level 2, it means when they do actions, they're going to only be able to do 2 actions as opposed to the standard 3 because they're too hungry to do more than 2. But we'll show you when we get to that.
As someone with high metabolism, I can attest to the fact that being hungry sucks.
So, as I said, we just skip rules and setup. But if you do have the page, if you do have the game, and you just look at this page. That'll just explain all the setup. It's very simple.
It mostly involves shuffling decks of cards and putting them in places.
Pretty much. Do you want to be the starting player, or shall I be the starting player? Doesn't really matter.
You can be starting player.
Okay. So we're going to start with the morning phase. Event: draw and resolve the top card from the events deck. Chapter 1. So this is an event deck we built in setup. The first thing is always Chapter 1. And Chapter 1 says, when the Civil War broke out, many people thought that it would only last a couple of weeks. It's been a year since the military surrounded the rebels in the capital, cutting off all supply lines. The civilians still trapped in the city suffer from hunger, disease, and the constant threat of shelling. It's another day of desperate waiting for the end of this terrible war. ... So, for this card, it's essentially saying we need to determine objectives for the 3 upcoming chapters. We already have the final objective, so for the last chapter, we'll just need to survive. At least one character from the starting group will need to survive, and with each state equal to or less than 2.
So they have to survive and not be on the verge of starving to death or killing themselves?
Yeah, or misery or illness or anything like that. And now grab us 2 more of those random ones. We can look at them.
We can look at them?
Yeah.
You just said random.
Yeah, random, but the first one will be the chapter 2 one.
Okay, so this is chapter 2 then.
Yeah. So that's later on. We're going to have to collect vegetables for the refugees. So we're going to have to get 5 vegetables by the end of chapter 2.
And not eat them.
Cool.
God damn it.
And then our first chapter objective is soldiers disarm the civilians. So we know this one. Discard a functional firearm. So for the first chapter, which is the first 3 events, first 4 days, including this one, we'll have to get a functioning firearm, which is a nice simple one, I think, to begin with. Cool. After you resolve this, remove this card from the game.
It is removed from the game.
It's been removed. So I can do that because it's my game. You can't.
Duly noted.
So let's go. That was the day phase. So now it says pass the journal to you. There you go. Day actions.
Each character can take 3 actions unless they have a back thingy on the thingy, and then they can't.
So this essentially means we now determine what actions we want to perform inside the shelter. So
during the day phase, we'll only do actions inside the shelter, right?
yeah, it's us wandering around because it's too dangerous to go out because there's snipers and stuff. So we have to stay in the house. Search through any rubbish here, or build any fittings we might want to. We can go out. We can check the outside to see if anyone's coming to visit us. Or come up with new ideas, or scavenge for resources inside, that kind of stuff. So as you're holding the journal, you'll get final say on everything. So may I suggest we start clearing heap and rubble?
I mean, I feel like that's pretty much the only options we've got.
Well, no, we can build stuff. So
that's true. We can build stuff.
So here are the fittings. The requirements are on the back, and then it tells you what you get to do with it on the front. Having a herbal garden is going to be pretty useful later on, don't you think?
I feel like water is kind of the first priority.
I agree. But to build water, which will be the rainwater collector, we need a filter and a mechanical part, which we have neither of.
God damn it. We've got none of those things.
But we can't even build the workshop. So I guess,
What do we need for the herb garden?
We still don't have. We only have components and woods. We don't have mechanical parts.
How do we get mechanical parts?
We have to go scavenging or search heaps for stuff. So maybe we should just try and search as much as we can to start with.
We also need space to build these things. Do we have any rooms to build in at the moment?
I think this room can be built in.
So just one building space.
Yeah, but if we search this, then we can build there as well.
So this requires a saw blade. This requires a lockpick, and these two require shovels. Well, we have a shovel and a lockpick.
I think because we don't want to get our shovel taken away from us, we should probably just start shoveling ASAP.
Yeah, last time Hobo stole our shovel.
Yeah,
we played one round.
That was low.
So why don't we send... It doesn't really matter who goes where, does it, at this stage. So let's send Marin over here with the shovel. Oh my god, every time I say that, I'm going to think of Mark Maron, the American comedian, which is hilarious and probably inappropriate. So this guy, what can he do that's useful?
Well, I mean, he could check the outside, but that means if he rolls a 1, he will suffer 2 wounds.
He's hit by a sniper bullet and suffers 2 wounds.
Yeah, because he goes outside.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get a visitor.
Do we have anything meaningful to trade the visitor?
Well, the visitor might be a new character, but that's a new mouth to feed, and we don't really have enough food for new visitors yet.
Indeed. I think...
Sometimes they come with food, though. And guns.
Maybe he should pick the lock here. And then after this guy's done the heap, then they can both go and do the rubble here.
But this rubble takes 2 rounds to do anyway.
We don't know that. No, but what I mean is he's going to do one round here.
Yeah.
So if he does that, and this guy picks the lock, then after he's done, I mean, they could search the second heap, or they could both go and start cleaning this rubble together.
Both of them.
Because this guy's... Because otherwise he's going to have basically...
I guess so. I guess we're going to have more components and stuff than we need anyway.
And the only other thing he could do is go get more ideas.
All right. I say pick the lock.
What about Pokeabout?
So that just lets you draw more wooden components, but we don't really need wooden components.
No, I feel like clearing these cards is probably a better start. This is maybe for when the cards are gone.
Okay. I agree with that. Let's try and pick lock the door. Okay.
Cool.
So we've done our 3 characters, and now we resolve. So
we can resolve in any order because it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, it's simultaneous. So the lockpick 1, 2, 3, 4 is a fail. 1, 2, 3 is a fail. 4 to 10 is a success, and it uses up the pick lock. So do you want to roll, seeing as you're the leader?
I gotta think for this.
Oh,
That
7 is a success. So bye-bye pick lock. Or lockpick. And we turn this card over. You get a wood and a component. Hooray. Hooray.
Oop.
Hooray. Okay, and now we can remove the card from the game. So that's done. Then the heap. Whoop. We get a lockpick. Woo!
Thank God for that.
2 components and 5 wood.
So I'll put 1 wood here, which indicates that that's 5. We also get 2 components, which puts us up to 7. So I'll take 3 away from here and put 1 there.
Cool. I like the denominations. And we got our lockpick. Sweet.
Yes.
From the game.
That was super expensive. I mean, expensive? That was super profitable.
Profitable, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And now the rubble will just get flipped over because we're using a shovel. If we didn't have the shovel, we'd need to use 2 people to do it. So that goes... Whoop.
Oh, no. Now we have to keep digging.
Yes.
Why is everything so difficult in this war of mine?
So now we do the second round of actions because everyone has 2 possible actions. So I get the book.
After each action stage, pass the book back to the other player.
I'm now the journal holder. No, I like that more.
Okay.
This is to get me to stop playing with dice. And it's working, which is really sad.
So we were gonna send Marco and Bruno over to start clearing that rubble, and leave Marin here to finish this rubble. Are we still happy with that plan?
Yeah, I think that's cool. Shovel.
I feel like clearing the first floor of the house is good because then we can keep lookout for intruders.
That's true, and we can get to the holes. Though I don't think we need access to the holes to board them up, actually. Anyway.
No, in fact, the holes actually don't do anything at all.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware.
Cool. So I'm happy with that. Let's just resolve it. So they turn this over. Da, 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 da. And then he digs through. Remove this card from the game. Pick them up later.
We've cleared up the now we've got our chandelier and our fireplace.
Cool. So
excavated.
That's the end of that. That's the end of that. And now we move on to the next phase, which is the dusk. So it's now dusk. Each character must drink water. We only have 2 water. For anyone who doesn't drink, we must roll a dice. Who's not going to drink? I picked Marin.
Really?
Yeah.
So Marin is a coffee addict, and Bruno's a cigarette addict.
But Bruno, if he's hungrier, his misery will go up.
Whereas Marin gets sad if he's ill, which is less likely to happen.
Yeah, at this point.
So maybe we should roll for Bruno.
No, we should roll for Marin, because that's okay if he's a bit more hungry or whatever.
I was thinking like if they have to die, then Bruno's the least profitable character.
Why?
Why? Because if he's hungry, he gets sad.
Oh, but yeah, that's true. But he's less empathic though.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I mean, he's gonna get a misery every time he's hungry. And he's hungry now. Although we've got raw food, so he'll be all right. All right, let's roll for Marin.
Okay. Well, it's your choice because you're technically the leader here. You should be holding the journal.
Well, yeah, but I'd prefer we agree on it.
I vote for Bruno. What's your vote?
All right, let's vote Bruno.
Okay.
Sorry, Bruno, but there's no water for you.
No, for Marin. There's no. We vote for Bruno to drink Marin. Anyway. It's an 8, which means they raise their misery by 1. No. Marin's slightly more miserable. Cool. Now, each character should eat 1 or more food. If they eat a canned food, they lower their hunger by 2. If they eat raw food, they lower their... Did that say remove it from the game?
Didn't. Let's just put it back in the tray.
Cool. So they all raise their hunger, lower their hunger by 1. So they're less hungry and more able to do stuff for us. Yay.
Maybe we should make a stove and cook the food.
Maybe that would make it more efficient.
So uncivilized.
I'm now the next player, and it's the evening phase. So now I'm responsible to choose who gets to sleep on a bed, who gets to stand on guard, and who goes out scavenging. So I vote
nobody sleeps. Somebody stands guard over the nothing, and 2 people go scavenging.
I agree. So, I knocked the camera. Prowess means basically rerolls in combat, which is useful if you're a guard or if you're scavenging. Inventory is better for scavenging because it means how much you can basically haul back. I agree with you. I think we should send Marco out for scavenging.
I agree.
We should put Marin on guard because he's sad and whiny. And Bruno...
God, cheer up, Marin.
And Bruno should also go out scavenging.
Just because you're dehydrated, you don't have to get all whiny about it.
Whoa. It's going to get worse than that.
Uh-oh.
If we didn't put someone on guard, we would get to read a really fun chapter in the book, which basically means you lose because you didn't put someone on guard.
Do you just lose if you don't guard?
Yeah.
Really?
We did that the first time we played.
Holy shit.
Cool, but now their fatigue has been raised by 1 because they're all doing stuff. Boop. Boop. Yeah. Boop. Cool. So, it's now your turn to do the scavenging phase. Choose one of the 3 locations.
So we've got 3 locations of varying distance. Now we're going to draw a number of explore cards for each location based on where it is. And the reason the explore cards essentially represent how much time we spend looking around for loot and things. And so the further away it is from the house, the fewer cards we get because we spend more time traveling there. Now, I think we should probably go to the small apartment building because it's the closest, we'll get the most cards, and it's also got the highest chance of food. Probably. Actually, no, the Sniper Junction has a lot of canned food, but
it's too risky.
It's really deadly, and we don't get a lot of cards.
And it's called Sniper Junction. Yeah, I've never been there. I've not bothered risking it.
It might be ironic.
So now we need to choose any equipment that we're going to bring. I think we should bring the lockpick because it doesn't weigh anything.
Yep, I agree. It could come in here useful.
Boop. Cool.
Cool, so we're going to the small
we could
building?
also bring the shovel.
Do you think that could come in useful?
There has been things which shovels have been helpful.
It does have weight 1, and we've got an inventory
But
of 8.
no, because it would say here rubble. So if we were going to somewhere with rubble, then it would have been useful.
But because the small apartment building doesn't have rubble on it, it's not that useful.
Yeah.
Although what I don't understand is why we can't use the shovel as a weapon. And if you ever picked up a shovel in real life, it's a pretty good weapon.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there's a scene in a movie where someone cuts someone's head off with a shovel.
I know the hatchet you can use for multiple things, but not the shovel. That makes sense.
I'm sure I saw a scene in a movie. I think it might even be Shaun of the Dead. They cut off like someone zombie's head with a shovel.
Yeah, it probably was. Okay, so now we set the noise marker to 1. You'll see what this does in a second. And we're good to go. Prepare the unknown deck. Hold my ball. Okay. So we shuffle this unknown deck, and we're going to draw 14 cards because we picked the closest location. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay.
So much exploring to do.
Yep. So now after each resolve card, we'll just swap between us. What it says here. So let's go delving.
Tomorrow on Ready Steady Play.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm afraid as night falls, we're all out of time. But we'll be back tomorrow to see what's in the small apartment building.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for every Monday.
Every Monday?
Thanks every Monday. Thanks everyone for coming and checking this out. We'll be back tomorrow with further continuations of this war of mine. So I hope you'll come back for that. And we'll see you there.
See you tomorrow.